Hey guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I got this makeup look, and this is the makeup that I wore on my wedding day. So we're going to go step by step. I'm going to show you which products I ended up using. I really overthought the whole makeup process, you guys. So everything here was carefully selected. I'm also gonna do a little story time. I'm gonna walk you all through the wedding day. This video is gonna be long, but I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Hi guys, it has been a minute since I have filmed with you. I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to be back. I have nothing on my face right now. I'm going to start with a little bit of skin prep. So on my wedding day for skin prep, what I actually did was I did this mask. I picked these up from Sephora a couple days before, one for me, one for my maid of honor who actually spent the night before the wedding at my house. All I did was go in with magic cream, and that was my full face prep. Right now, I'm gonna do my normal, like, everyday skincare because I don't have one of those super hydrating masks. I did make a mistake on the wedding day, which was I did that mask. It comes with a ton of serum. I let the serum soak in for a couple of hours, and then I really did think it was mostly all absorbed into my skin. But then when I went in and started doing foundation, the foundation was like starting to pill up and ball a little bit because there was just a little bit of excess product sitting on top of my skin that hadn't sunken in yet. So I did make the mistake of not cleansing my skin first with some micellar water or just a little bit of water just to remove any excess product from the face mask, but it was fine. So I just ended up kind of patting it in and everything worked out okay. So speaking of the morning of and the night before, I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit about kind of the days leading up to the wedding. So I disappeared from the internet, which I am sorry about. There was a lot of hype and a lot of buildup for my wedding in the year leading up to it here online. I was really excited about it and like talking about it a lot, and I was really sharing a lot of my journey with you guys. But as it started to get closer, I'd say probably coming up to about a month before, kind of like the week we went to Italy, I really started to get this feeling of like not wanting to be in the digital world at all. I was feeling so present in my real life, my actual physical life, that I just didn't want to be online. I wasn't posting on my Instagram stories. I wasn't posting on my work Instagram. I wasn't even really going on Instagram. I would watch a couple YouTube videos here and there in the weeks leading up to the wedding, but really I was just living in the real world, and I just didn't want to be online. So that was both with consuming content and creating my own content as well. I was doing a lot of reading, just getting lost in books to distract myself, because honestly, in the 2 weeks leading up to it, the only thing that I could think about or talk about was the wedding. I'm sure it was really annoying to everyone around me because it's just like nonstop babbling about the wedding, but yeah, it was really kind of all consuming there for a little bit. All right, so skin is prepped. I'm gonna go in and start on my eye makeup. So I went out and purchased myself the Laura Mercier Tinted Eye Base. This is my favorite eyeshadow primer, and I didn't have one at the time, so I specifically made a trip to purchase it. I have this in the shade Linen. Usually I prefer the shade Flax, but this works perfectly fine. The day before the wedding, Will and I went to check into the Drake. We were getting married at the Drake Hotel on Queen West in Toronto, and we had booked a hotel room for the night before and the night of the wedding. So we go to check into the hotel, and we get there, and the person at the front desk can't find our reservation. So she searches my name, she searches Will's name, she searches the name of the different event coordinators that we had over the last year of dealing with them, and nothing comes up. So there's a lot of like whispering behind the desk and then like leaving from behind the desk and coming back. My heart was pounding. My brain instantly went into like solving a problem mode. So I was thinking like, okay, what are we gonna do if they don't have a room for us and they're like fully booked? Then what are we gonna do? There's another hotel down the street called the Gladstone. I was like, we'll just go there, we'll see if they have a room. Like I was coming up with like all these different ideas of what we were gonna do if that happened. part of me was thinking like, okay, this is a disaster. The other part of me was thinking this is terrible that they don't have my reservation and they're gonna need to make up for this in a big way. When Will and I went to do the site tour when we were still choosing our venue, they had showed us this massive penthouse suite that had 2 bedrooms, a bar, 2 bathrooms, a huge balcony that overlooks the city. And they had tried to sell us to that as part of our package, and we ended up declining that and just doing like a king room instead. And so I had in my mind like they need to give us that room. And so like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes goes by, and finally someone who seems like a manager comes to the desk. I'm gonna go in with the Eyes to Mesmerize in the color Champagne from Charlotte Tilbury. So this manager comes to the desk and he says, I have great news for you guys. We are going to upgrade your room. And I was like, hell yeah, you are. You don't have a reservation. Like they were trying to play it off like they were just giving us an upgrade. I think they knew that like we knew that they had screwed up. So they actually ended up putting us in that suite, which was so lucky and so sick. It worked out really well for later in the story. After we got that news, Will and his best man were there and all of our bags and stuff were there, and they were going to do like a room inspection and stuff, and I didn't have time to stay to like go up and look at the suite or bring my stuff up or anything because that night was the night of our rehearsal dinner. We had planned a rehearsal dinner with Will's dad and his stepmom at their place in North Toronto. I did not take a single picture that night. I was really kind of all over the place, running around, talking to everybody, so I didn't take any pictures, but I do have this picture of the dress that I wore from when I bought the dress, so I'll put that up here. I did kind of a brown smoky eye with my makeup, and I actually wore my hair straight, which I never really do that anymore, but it really feels like me. I've straightened my hair for really like majority of my life, so yeah, I don't know, it just felt really me. So I came home, rushed to get ready for that, and then Will and I got in an Uber and we headed up for the rehearsal dinner. The rehearsal dinner was great. We invited our wedding parties and their partners. We also invited all of our family. Anybody in Will's family or my family that was coming to the wedding got invited to the rehearsal dinner. So our guest list was about 55 people. So that was really crazy. Like it was super, super strange to have my family from Saskatchewan, my brother from Alberta, like in Will's dad's house, and like meeting all of Will's family out here. Like it was totally crazy. Alrighty, so for my eyeshadow, I used majority 2 palettes. I think some of you might be kind of surprised at the color palette that I went with for my eye makeup. It's really different than what any brides ever asked me to do, but when I looked back at old pictures of my makeup, the way I like it best is when I do a cool tone smoky eyes. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Rock Chic palette. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Up Down Girl palette. So I did a combination of these 2 on my eyes for the night. So I'm gonna go ahead and recreate that for you. So you guys know I love my halo eye. It's just really, I don't know, I feel like the most flattering shape on my eye, and it's my favorite type of look to do. So we did the halo eye for the wedding. What I'm gonna do is just take shade number 1 in the Uptown Girl palette here. It's a nice bright kind of pop of champagne color, and I'm just gonna use this to set the cream shadow that I put down. That cream shadow I applied only in the center of the lid and just kind of like blended out the edges a little bit. So I'm just setting that with this powder shadow here. I'm just gonna go right over top and just kind of keep it in the center. Next, I'm gonna take the bronzer that I used on my face. So the bronzer that I ended up using was the Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm palette. I basically wore a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, you guys. Are we surprised? I mixed the 2 bronzer colors together on this fluffy brush and just ran that through my crease to create a little bit of a shadow and a transition. So really going from the outer corner to the inner corner. So the rehearsal dinner was great. We ordered food from one of Will and I's favorite restaurants in Toronto. It's called Fet Zun. They do kind of Middle Eastern style food. So we had falafel, a bunch of different dips, hummus, baba ganoush, labna, like a whipped feta dip. There were pickles, olives, pita bread, some shawarma chicken, basically like beer, wine. I had a really good time getting a little bit more FaceTime in with my family. It was really nice to have that. Will and I knew we were gonna be like quite, I don't know, busy. I don't know if busy is the right word, but preoccupied at the wedding, so we really wanted the rehearsal dinner just to have a little bit more time with people, to really be able to like chat with people, especially for me, my family who had come in from out of town. It was just really nice to get to spend a little bit of extra time with them. And then again, like we felt like just as much combining of the families and the friends as possible was going to be really beneficial for the wedding night, because we just wanted the wedding night to be so fun and for everyone to have a good time. So we felt like if people kind of knew each other a little bit better before going to the wedding, that was going to be really great. So the bachelorette, the bridal shower, Will's bachelor party, he did like a guy version of a shower as well. He ended up having like 2 bachelor parties. The rehearsal dinner, like all of that I feel like was just so good for, yeah, just creating that atmosphere that we wanted at the wedding. So rehearsal dinner went great. I literally drank 1 sour. I thought I was gonna get like kind of drunk. I was excited to like get a little wine drunk, but I ended up just yeah, like I started with sour and I drank like half my beer and it got warm. And there was a server there that Will's dad had hired, and she came up and she was like, do you want a fresh one? I was like, sure. And then I drank like half of my second one. So I wasn't really drinking. I was starting to feel a little nervous, just like excited, anticipation, you know, all that. Around, I think probably 10 o'clock, 10:30, a few people had left the rehearsal dinner, and Kira, my maid of honor, and I left the rehearsal dinner and came back to the condo here. Will and his best man went to go and stay at the Drake. So what I'm gonna do now is take this guy right here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Rock Trick palette, and I'm just gonna start to build up the Enhance and the Smoke Shade on the outer and inner corner of my eye, and just kind of build and blend, build and blend. So Kira and I got home from the rehearsal. I was a bit frantic before we left, because before Will and I went to Italy for Laz and Sabrina's wedding, I had put a lot of my favorite jewelry in a little bag, like a little Missouri bag. And when I went to grab that bag to put on the earrings that I had wanted to wear the night before for the rehearsal dinner, they were missing. They weren't in the bag that I thought they were going to be in, and I was kind of panicky because some of the jewelry that I wanted to wear at the wedding was in that bag too. So Will and I had looked around, we couldn't find anything, so we ended up just going without. And so when Kira and I got home, we did a little bit of like a deep dive. I was wondering if the jewelry was possibly in my suitcase down in the storage locker. So we went down to the storage locker, found the suitcase. It was in there, which was amazing. I was so happy we found it. And then we just kind of sat on the couch and we chatted for a while. Around midnight, we put on Friends. I just wanted something kind of comforting that I could fall asleep to, and we put on Chandler and Monica's wedding episodes to start. After about an hour of that, around 1 o'clock, Kira was really tired, so she got up and went to bed, and I was not quite yet. So I stayed up, I kind of laid down fully on the couch and just kind of tried to let sleep overtake me. It didn't happen. Sleep never came. I got super sleepy at one point, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready, I'm about to fall asleep. So I got up and moved to the bedroom, and then when I got into the bedroom, I could not sleep at all. So I put on James and Karis. They're these YouTubers that I've been watching for years, and their videos are so boring, but they're also extremely comforting, and they help me fall asleep all the time. Whenever I'm having trouble sleeping, I always put on James and Karis, and it works like a charm. No, I watched, their vlogs are like an hour long. I watched like 3 of them in the bedroom, just laying there with my eyes closed, begging myself to go to sleep. I just couldn't. I didn't think I was gonna have a problem sleeping, you guys. I really didn't. But the anticipation, like I felt physically ill in my stomach. It felt like someone was squeezing my stomach, and I could not get my brain to shut off. So after about 3 hours of rolling around in bed, I got up, I came out to the couch, I put Friends on again, and I laid there for a few more hours. I think I did finally fall asleep sometime around 6 in the morning. And at 7:30, I woke up and was up. It was time to get going. Like, the day was starting. So I got about an hour of sleep, which I was really nervous about. I really wanted to stay up and just party like all night. So I really had wanted to get a good sleep the night before, but you know what? what can you do? So Kira and I ended up going for a walk to get coffee. The rest of the girls weren't coming over for hair and makeup until 11. So we walked over to Balzac's. We got a coffee and a pastry. We came home and ate it. There was like a lot of downtime. We were mostly just chilling in the morning. I was kind of cleaning up in here a little bit, making space for when the hair and makeup girls got here. And then people started arriving. So I was gonna do my own makeup. Obviously, I'm showing you guys how I did my makeup for my wedding day right now. But I wanted my hair done, obviously. But I didn't want to be doing the makeup for my bridesmaids. Like, I just wanted to enjoy the morning. I know some MUAs who do their bridesmaids makeup at their own weddings, and I'm just like, no, that's not for me. So I hired two of my really good friends, Nikki and Karma, who I worked with at Tilbury, to come and do makeup for the girls. And then Alicia, my hairstylist, came for hair. And then because I had two makeup artists, I decided to go for two hair girls as well, so the timing would work out. And I hired this girl, Nicole, who I do a lot of work with myself. So I just do makeup and she just does hair. So we're a really good team for weddings. And like lots of times brides will ask me like, do you do hair as well? And I say like, no, but I work with a really great hairstylist, so I'll bring Nicole along. Nicole and I met on a photo shoot for Lisa Goslin like years ago, and we have worked together ever since. The photographer who I work with, you guys might know, sometimes I do the 50 over 50 shoots. I made that connection through her. So yeah, we've been working together for years. And so because I knew like Alicia and Nikki and Karma, I just wanted someone who like I knew as well, just to like fit into the vibe, and she was great. So yeah, the girls started showing up around 11. We did hair and makeup, we had lunch. Everyone looked amazing. For the bridesmaid dresses, I didn't really have much specifications. I had a Pinterest inspo board. I'll link the Pinterest board in the description box if anyone's curious, but I was mostly going for like elegant black tie, black dresses that were more on the simple side. I didn't want too much like glitter or embellishment, but really they were kind of free to choose whatever they wanted. Will and I had not explicitly said that we wouldn't talk the morning of, but we also really like, we were doing the not seeing each other the night before, and we weren't doing a first look, so the first time we were going to see each other was literally when I was walking down the aisle. So we did kind of want to not talk to each other if we didn't have to, because Will was at the Drake and getting ready at the Drake. He was kind of the one in charge of like, if there were any things that needed to get done at the venue in terms of like setup and stuff, like he was going to be the one dealing with that. So I told him, you know, like, I trust you, you can like make executive decisions when it comes to the stuff that's happening at the venue, but if you obviously need anything or like want to ask any questions, like you can call me. So I didn't really hear from Will all morning until he sent me a thank you text, because I did this like little surprise for him where I bought him this like beautiful Shinola watch. So he went to Detroit for one of his bachelor parties, and he came back from Detroit telling me like all about the Shinola store in Detroit. We used to have Shinola at Holt's when I worked there, and there used to be a Shinola on Queen Street as well, but it's all closed down in Toronto now, so we don't really have it here anymore. And so he had never really heard of it before, and he was like in love with that store. So I had wanted to get him kind of a gift for the wedding day, and so I decided to get him a watch from Shinola, and I really wanted it to be a surprise. So I got it like professionally wrapped with this wrapping paper from this like special like gift store that he loves, and I gave it to his best man, and I asked him if he could give it to Will like in the morning when he was getting ready. So Lazar, his best man, gave him the gift from me, and so then I got that thank you text from Will in the morning. He was saying like he felt bad because he didn't get anything for me. I didn't want to like drop hints that like usually the bride and groom get each other gifts, because I really wanted to surprise him, and I felt like if I was dropping that hint then it wouldn't be a surprise anymore. But also I didn't really want a gift. Like, Will bought me my rings, and like that's more than enough. Like, I didn't really want anything. I really just wanted it to be a surprise, and he was super shocked. I'm going to go in now with the pop shade from the Up Down Girl palette. This has always been my favorite pop shade. I love this sparkle. I don't have much left. When Nikki was here, she had like a full pan of this, so I was using hers the day of, but I'm gonna use as much of this as I can, and I'm just gonna put it right in the center of my lid. and I'm gonna go pretty ham with this. I really want that middle portion of the halo eye where it's nice and light. I really want that to be super glittery. This is kind of a silvery, champagne-y reflect. It's especially hard with my nails to like get in there properly. So yeah, the flowers came and the photographer came, and like as the vendors started showing up, I was like, oh my god, it really started to feel real as people started showing up. My attitude that morning was pretty calm. I was prioritizing like calmness over everything. I've been at a lot of wedding getting readies because of my job, and there are some, actually quite often, they are very frantic. There's a lot of rushing, there's a lot of like things going wrong, and I did not want any of that. I just wanted enough time for everything to be done. So for example, we didn't have to be ready to leave until like 3:30. But I did the schedule so that we would be finished hair and makeup at 2:30, just so there was like that hour buffer. We didn't need it, like everything was fine, everything went smooth, hair and makeup went like really fast, but I just really wanted to avoid any type of rushing whatsoever. Guys, I didn't pick up my phone from like the moment we left until literally like 1 in the morning, so I had no pictures on my phone. I've gotten a few videos and pictures sent to me, so I will pop those in as I'm talking about stuff, but I don't have a ton of photos. When we get the photos back from our photographers, I literally cannot wait for that. They are incredible. Our photographer is incredible, and I'm so excited to get the pictures back, but it's gonna take a while because they're super busy. But to see those pictures, make sure you're following me on Instagram. I will like put it here. Make sure you're following me there so you can see like the actual pictures from the photographers, because the ones I have aren't very good and I don't have very many. But yeah, I packed up my little clutch for makeup for touch-ups. I brought powder, I brought eyeliner, I brought lip liner, and I brought lipstick. I put some Q-tips in my bag, and then my phone, some joints in case I wanted them. I didn't that whole night. And then yeah, it was time to put on the dress. So my girls helped me get into my dress. I ended up just doing down and curly with my hair. I really went back and forth on that. I went back and forth on the glam a lot, but in the end was super happy with it. I really considered having someone else do my makeup. I really liked the idea of, you know, being treated to that on the day, and I really trust my friends who do makeup. Like Nikki and Karma are incredible at makeup, and like either of them could have done my makeup and it would have turned out amazing. I would have been super happy with it. But when I go out, my favorite part of that is, I mean, obviously not my favorite part, but one of the things I love the most about going out is sitting down and spending the time to get myself ready. It's why I do what I do. I just really have a passion for makeup, and I really did feel like I wanted to have that experience on the day. So it took me forever. It took me like 2 hours to do my makeup because I was going so slow. I was just really taking my time with everything, and I would like get up and go and talk to everybody and come back. For my hair, I pretty much always just love my hair like down and curly. Like if I'm ever getting ready for any kind of special events or anything, I always just do it that way. It's kind of the way I like my hair best, and I feel like it shows off my hair the best too. Like I really like my hair. I think it's really pretty, and I feel like when it's like down and curly, it looks the best. So I kind of debated whether to do that or not. I felt like it wasn't really special enough. I was like, no, it's my wedding. I need to do something more. And so for my shower, I actually went to Alicia, who was going to be doing my hair on my wedding day, and I had her do an updo for me. So she did kind of like a messy bun. I'll see if I have pictures from the shower. And then I wanted like face framing pieces, and I didn't end up, like I thought my hair looked good, like my hair did look good, and I was happy that I had it that way for the shower. But in the end, I decided I just wanted to do it down and curly. Even up to the last minute, I sat down in Alicia's chair and she's like, hey, what are we doing? I was like, I don't know, because I was kind of feeling like I wanted face framing, I wanted my hair down and curly, but also I didn't want all my hair to be like hanging in my face in all the photos. So I was thinking maybe what I would do is like leave some little face framing bits and then just pull back a little bit of like the top layer like this. But I was afraid, like, to each their own, you guys. I don't mean to like insult anybody when I talk about this stuff. Like everyone has their own preference, but the half up look for weddings I feel like is really like Etsy bride and really like, I don't know, kind of like overplayed and like a little bit dated almost. So I was like worried about having my hair half up. So I was thinking maybe I would do like up on one side and like pinned. I really didn't want it to be like half up in a pony. I was thinking like just pinned up on both sides. So anyways, I asked her to like curl it all and then we could play around with like the different pinning. And once she curled it, she was like, okay, go look in the mirror and make sure like this is good, like curl wise. And I went and looked in the mirror and I was like, no, this is literally perfect. Like, we don't have to do anything else. We don't have to try anything else. Like, this is how I want it. So we ended up down and curly. My dress, if you guys saw my shopping for my wedding dress video, my dress was very different than majority of the dresses that I tried on, and I loved it. I'm in love with my dress. I feel like it was so flattering. It was just so perfect. It was dramatic, but it wasn't like too princess ball gown. It was like chic, elegant. It was special. It was a wedding dress. A lot of the dresses I tried on, they really felt like too simple to me. They felt like if I wore that dress in another color, that it could just be like a dress that I could wear to someone else's wedding. You know, it didn't feel special enough, but I also didn't want like lace. I didn't really want any like glitter or embellishment. So I just feel like my dress was so perfect for me. I was in love with it. The designer was Pronovius and I got it at Kleinfeld's in Toronto. If you guys haven't seen shopping for my wedding dress video, I'll link it across the top here and in the description box as well if you want to go and watch that. I'm gonna go in now with some eyeliner. So for my eyeliner, I used my trusty Maybelline Black is Black waterproof gel liner. I was laughing because I was so nervous for the liner. As I was doing my makeup getting ready, I was so happy with my decision to do it. I felt like it made me feel so calm, just like going through the motions of something that's so familiar to me, something that I just love to do. Like, it really helped calm me down. When I was getting ready for my bridal shower, I was so nervous before my bridal shower, you guys. I was terrified and I hated getting ready before my shower. It just felt so rushy and I just felt so much pressure, and I was worried that that was going to be the case with my wedding makeup as well after that happened, but it was the opposite. I felt like it really helped ground me. It really helped calm me down. The only thing that I was nervous about was my damn eyeliner, and I feel like I did kind of screw it up. Like, it wasn't as sharp as I wanted, and I did it in like a weird shape that my eyeliner had literally never been before. I usually do it like more straight out, or I'll go like quite dramatic up at an angle, and I felt like it was a little like straight and up. Like, it was in like a weird shape that I had never seen before, but I just let it go. Like, once it's on there, it's on there. There isn't really changing it much, especially like with the intricacy of this like eyeshadow. Like, really, if I remove the eyeliner, then really need to remove the whole eyeshadow look as well and start all over again. So I just like accepted it. It looked good, it looked fine. It was just different than how I usually do my eyeliner, but it was totally fine. So I'm gonna do this real quickly. I can't really talk through this. So I did a little black wing. I brought it all the way across and then down into that inner corner. So even like today with less pressure, it's still not perfect. I don't really do my eyeliner that often anymore. Like, I don't do a black gel winged liner on myself hardly ever anymore. My day-to-day makeup is so much more natural. If I am doing a winged liner, it's usually with a powder. But it is me, like really this like rock chick, cool toned, smoky, glittery, big black wing liner. Like, it just is me, and so like it had to be done. And I did know it wasn't going to be perfect. That's why I was nervous about it, just because I haven't really been doing it on myself much lately, and like doing it on yourself is very different from doing it on clients. I will say that most of my clients want winged liner, so I'm quite practiced at that, but it's completely different. Okay, there we go. So this one is way thicker than this one, so we're gonna have to thicken this one up a little bit. So let me do that. There we go. Okay, so for mascara, I used, of course, my Merit Tubing mascara. This goes nowhere. I knew I wasn't gonna have to worry about it transferring or smudging or anything like that. And because I was gonna put on false lashes, my natural lashes don't need to look their best. If I was gonna just wear mascara on the day, I would have done full fat lashes from Charlotte Tilbury, but because of the falsies, we went with the tubing mascara. So I got into my dress, which was crazy. One thing that I was really nervous about was leaving the condo. It's like very irrational, but I was quite nervous about like going out in the hallway, getting in the elevator, going downstairs, and just like having people in the condo see me like in my full glam and literally wearing my wedding dress. There was one girl in the elevator when we got in there, and so we all piled in, and then she was like, you know what's funny? I was like, what? She's like, this was me last weekend. So I guess she had gotten ready and like gotten married the weekend before and like gotten in the elevator. And yeah, I don't know, I just thought that that was kind of funny, like such a small world. But yeah, I was like quite nervous about just like everyone like looking at me and being in like close quarters with me, like all dressed up and stuff. It was actually really sweet, like being all dressed up and like being out in the real world. So many people just like walking by were like, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Like, I don't know, I wasn't really expecting that, and it was really sweet. To get to the venue, we ended up calling Ubers. It's like a 6-minute drive from my house, so there was no reason to hire a limo or like any other way of getting us there. We called a couple of different Ubers to come and get us. My photographer took some solo photos of me outside the condo while we waited, and then we jumped in the Ubers and headed to the hotel. So the guests were scheduled to arrive at 4 o'clock. Then they were gonna open the doors and let everyone in. We did champagne on arrival for the guests, Prosecco on arrival for the guests, and then the ceremony was meant to start at 4:30. So I left here around 3:40. Again, you guys, I just like really didn't want to be rushing for anything. I also didn't want to get to the venue too early, so there wasn't too much like sitting around waiting to walk down the aisle. So we got to the hotel, we went around to the back to their like loading dock entrance. The wedding coordinator came and picked us up and then took us up. It took us into the hotel, up the elevator, across to the Sky Yard. If anyone's from Toronto and has been to the Drake before, the Sky Yard was closed for the season because it's fall now, so there was nobody in there. It's basically like the upstairs second level of the Drake, and then from there you walk down into the main room where the wedding was happening. So literally from the Sky Yard, I was gonna walk down the stairs and then down the aisle. So we got up there, we waited for a while, made sure all the guests were there. Our officiant came up and talked to us and just kind of gave everyone a rundown on how the ceremony was gonna be. They ended up bringing us a glass of champagne, which was nice. Alicia came there and she put on my veil for me, which was lovely. We had forgot to do it before she left. I totally forgot all about it, so it was really great that she was invited to the wedding because she could just come up and do my veil for me. We ended up starting a little bit late. I think the ceremony started around 4:40, but it was just so crazy, guys. Like, I can't even explain. So the boys came upstairs, they were all in their suits, they wore all black with black ties. Like, I'm emotional. I was so excited for that part. Like, I was so excited to be with my mom and my bridesmaids and then all the boys and just have like that moment. Just have that moment like of excitement before we walk down the aisle. Whew. Okay, I'm just gonna clean up under my eyes now with a little cotton round and some micellar water. Okay, so let's move to complexion, shall we? For my complexion, I used, what else could I use? For primer, I started with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, of course. So I put this on the high points of my face. So tops of the cheekbones, and then across the forehead as well. So like I said, my mom was with us in the Sky Yard while we were waiting to walk down the aisle. She was going to walk me down the aisle, which was really amazing. I was so, I don't know, happy and excited to have her do that with me and like be a part of that. She was like hesitant to do it because she didn't want to cry in front of everyone, but hopefully she was happy to be there. I'm sure she was. But yeah, it was the craziest feeling. So like everyone was lined up in front of me and there was this big glass wall to the right of me, and on the other side of the glass wall was the stairs that we were going to walk down. So everyone would go, they would stand at the top of the stairs, the wedding coordinator would be at the bottom, and she would signal for people to start walking. So there would be like a couple standing up at the stairs, and I could see them through the glass, and they would look over at me, and then they would get the signal, and they would like wave, and then like walk down the stairs. And just watching everybody like disappear down the stairs and just like moving towards the front of the line with my mom, it was the craziest feeling in the world. I can't believe I'm crying at like the most random part right now. When I moved to Toronto, I came here by myself to be with Will. And I was young, like in my 20s, early 20s, and like having my actual family around wasn't like a consideration for me. So when I came out here, like Will has all his family here, but I don't have any family here. And like my friends and our friends are like my family here. So it was just like so amazing having them there with me for that part. And my mom was there, and it was, yeah, it was really special. I literally did not think I was gonna cry in this video. Okay, let me like try and like get myself back together here. Let's talk about makeup. That will help. Obviously for my foundation, you guys, I used my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. What else could I use? I had to pull it out of my kit because I don't have my own anymore. And as you guys know, if you watch my channel, it's been discontinued and it's fucking terrible. But I did have, obviously I still have some left in my kit, so I've mixed shade 4 and shade 5. So the song that I walked down the aisle to was 1,000 Years by Christina Perri. The first time I heard it, I think, was in Twilight. Will didn't want it because he thought everyone was gonna like associate the song with Twilight, but then when I looked it up on YouTube to like show it to him, it has like hundreds of millions of views, and all of these people are like leaving comments saying like how beautiful the song is, and like no one mentioned Twilight in the comments at all. So he was like, okay, fine, like we can have it for the song walking down the aisle. I put my foundation on with my beauty blender on the day because I always do, but I don't feel like getting it right now, so I'm just gonna put my foundation on with a brush. Standing at the top of the stairs and hearing the song that we had been planning this moment to go like with this song for like literally a year, and standing there hearing it playing out of the loudspeakers and like staring at the coordinator and watching everyone walk down the stairs before me, like it was so surreal. I felt crazy. I had never felt like that before. I was so excited, so happy, a little bit nervous, just like elated. I felt like my brain was exploding, like everything was bright and light and happy. And yeah, so we had to walk down these stairs. My shoes were not super easy to walk in, so I had to like hold the rail and hold my flowers, get down to the bottom of the stairs, get to the bottom of the stairs, and then like hold my mom. I feel like I literally ran down the aisle. If I will give some little bits of advice throughout this video, and one of them is, if you have yet to walk down the aisle and you plan to do so at any point in the future, like I had been warned beforehand by the officiant, like don't go too fast, and it just like completely left my mind. And when I got to the bottom, when I saw all of our guests like all dressed up, and I was seeing my friends, like my other friends besides the ones who were in the bridal party, I just was like, oh my god, like it's happening. And I swear I was like running down the aisle. So I got about halfway down, and then I literally said out loud like, oh no, I need to slow down. So then we like slowed down. I feel like I was like dragging my mom down the aisle. Like I was just like, let's go. I was so excited. So what I would say to any future brides is just take your time in that moment. Like when you take your first step down the aisle, like take a deep breath and really just like go slow. That moment is over really quickly, and yeah, you really want to like take it all in and be really present for it. I was a little bit like spazzy and all over the place. It was an incredible moment, like I literally loved it, but yeah, I just like, I don't know, I wish I went a little bit slower when I was walking down the aisle. I have like no regrets from the wedding except for one, which is the fact that I forgot about dessert and I completely missed dessert. I didn't eat dessert for like a month leading up to the wedding because it was my wedding, and obviously I was trying to look good, and I was so excited. We got all vegan desserts. We had chocolate covered strawberries, Nanaimo bars, chocolate chip cookies, and this incredible passion fruit ice cream, and I was so excited to eat all of it, and I forgot about dessert because I was having too much fun and I completely missed it. That's my one regret. I don't regret going quickly down the aisle, but if I could do it again, I would go more slowly. So we got to the front of the aisle. There were some steps leading up to like this little platform where the ceremony was going to be taking place. All my bridesmaids were lined up, the groomsmen were lined up. We had these two beautiful tables. Our florist was amazing. I'm gonna link all the vendors down below as well. Her name is Jill, Bloom Bar Studio, incredible. She really took like what I wanted and brought it to life, and it just exceeded my expectations like times 100. So we had the two little tables set up on either side of us, our officiant in the middle, and Will was standing there, and yeah, it was just like this crazy moment. He walked down the stairs. I like gave my mom a hug goodbye. He gave my mom a hug, and then my mom went and took her seat, and then Will walked me up the steps, like the final few steps to get to the front. The ceremony was something else. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I'd never done that before. I didn't really know, yeah, how it was gonna be. I was having so much fun. I literally was standing there thinking like, this is so fun. Like, I'm just standing there with Will, the officiant is here, everyone's watching, we're like in this moment, we're getting married. Like, it was incredible. It was so much fun. I was having such a blast. I had like all this nervous energy. I feel like I was like moving around a lot. Will was staring at me and I could not just like look at him. I was like looking at the audience, looking at Will, looking at Charles, looking at the groomsmen, but like not seeing any of them. Like, it was all just a blur. Will and I couldn't even take in what Charles was saying. Like, we knew the script beforehand, so I knew like what he was gonna say, but oh, Charles was the officiant, if that wasn't clear. I knew what he was gonna say, but I couldn't like take it in. Like, he was saying words and I was hearing words, but I couldn't process them. I was just having all of these thoughts like, it's happening, like telling myself like, take it all in, and I really was. Like, it was just so fun. We did our vows, we said our I do's. Will and I both wrote our own vows. They were really short. I think his were like 150 words and mine was like 180 words or something. It was super short. We went and did our signing, and then we came back to the front. Charles stood in front of us and he announced us as husband and wife, and then he stepped out of the way and Will and I stepped up from behind him, and our DJ started playing our recessional song, which was Todd Rundgren, I Saw the Light. It's a funny story like how this song is like special to us. There's this movie on Netflix, it's A Very Murray Christmas, and Will and I love this Christmas Bill Murray movie. It has Miley Cyrus and like George Clooney in it and like all these amazing actors. If you guys haven't seen it, I feel like I've talked about it on this channel before, but Will and I love it. And there's like some musical bits in that movie, and there's like a wedding happening, and one of the songs that I think like the bride and groom sing is this song, like I Saw the Light, and so that was the song we chose to like walk back down the aisle. So we walked back down the aisle, everyone was like cheering, I was so happy, like woohoo, like we're married. It was so crazy. All right, now I'm gonna do concealer, and I do need my beauty blender for that, so let me go dampen it. So another purchase that I made prior to the wedding was some concealer. So my favorite full coverage concealer is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I was debating what concealer to use. You guys know I've been loving the Makeup Forever one, and I do really love that one and would have been happy with it, but really this one was just like calling to me to be the one that I wore on my wedding. So I ended up going and picking this up. I have this in the shade Porcelain. I used to have it in the shade Vanilla, I think. Or was it Almond? I don't know. I used to have it in a different color that was too yellow for me. This one has the right undertone, but I feel like it could be lighter. But it's fine. So I just did a little here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a combination of blending with both my concealer brush and my sponge. So after the ceremony, we did a cocktail hour for our guests, and then we went out the back into the back alley and we did photos with family and the bridal party. So we got kind of those more like formal group photos done. And then Will and I went around with the photographers for probably like 40 minutes after that, and we did some like portrait photos with our photographers. I'm so excited to get them back, honestly. And then we came back. Will and I wanted to enjoy a little bit of the cocktail hour before dinner, so we had scheduled the cocktail hour to be a little bit longer. Will had made this really amazing video. It was like this 8-minute long video of all of these like photos of our pasts. So it started with like me as a baby and Will as a baby, and then us like growing up, and then pictures of like Will and I's first pictures together 14 years ago. And then we did like all these pictures with all of our friends and family. It was like a little like, I don't know, like movie video kind of thing. We had like some videos and boomerangs and stuff in there. It was really fun. We played that during the cocktail hour as well. We kind of made a mistake with that. We thought that when the music changed and like got a little bit louder, that people would notice that something was happening. So instead of doing like an announcement like, okay guys, we're gonna like play this video, we ended up just like starting the video thinking people would notice, and lots of people didn't notice right away that the video was starting. So like a lot of the pictures from the beginning of like my family and stuff, like of me as like a baby and like of my family, and same with Will, like a lot of people didn't see that part of it. Include a little link to that as part of our thank yous when we send them out, just so anybody who like missed any of that can watch it again. But yeah, that was amazing. I was so excited to play that video. Like I am the one in my group who like takes the photos. I had hundreds, like thousands and thousands of photos. Going through them was so much fun. Obviously like so much video, all this video content as well. And it was so fun going through them and like getting it ready for the video. Will did like basically the whole thing. We worked on it together, but he did like most of it. It was just amazing, like looking around and seeing everyone like with these huge smiles, and literally people are like reacting to the photos like, hey, there's me, hey, there's me. It was really like amazing seeing everyone's like faces as they watched the video. And yeah, that was great. So that was like just a quick little 8-minute video. Then Will's mom and dad did like a really brief speech, and my bridesmaids, Sabrina, Courtney, and Robin, did like a speech together, which was so amazing. I was joking, like people were like, how do you feel? And I was like, I feel amazing. The ceremony was over. I was like, the hard part is done. Now I just get to stand around and hear people say nice things about me. Yeah, the speeches were like just so lovely. We didn't want to force anyone to do speeches. The three of them weren't originally going to, but then because Will's parents weren't going to do one, but then when Will's parents decided to do one, I asked them if they would be okay with doing one as well. So the three of them did it together, and it was just so amazing, like hearing everyone like tell these old stories and like the things about our friendship that are meaningful to them. And I'm looking for my little powder brush and I can't find it. It's because it's still packed away in my little clutch from the wedding day. Yeah, so the girls did their speech. I freaking loved it. It was so nice. And after the speech, we went into dinner. So we did a buffet style dinner. We had pasta and bruschetta and salad, and everybody could just go up and help themselves and then sit wherever they wanted. It was really casual, like cocktail style reception, buffet style, some people were calling it too. That was really great. People told us that they really liked like not being stuck at a table. I feel like lots of times you go to weddings and you're sitting with people who like you don't know, and you have to have like awkward conversation with them. But this way you were able to like eat your dinner and then like go back for seconds, and someone else would take your table, and then you would go and sit with someone else. And like it was just a little bit more casual. Everyone got to roam around a little bit more. I'm just setting my entire face now with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder in shade number 1. And then I'm gonna throw on my lashes because I am not looking forward to it and I just want to get it over with. So devastatingly enough, I went to buy my favorite lashes for the wedding day, which are the Rehearsal Kit brand lashes in the wispy style. They're my favorite lashes ever, and the week before I went to go and pick some up because I didn't have any. I went to 5 different Rehearsals and none of them had them. I don't know if they're discontinued, if they were sold out. I don't know what happened, but I was so sad. So for lashes, you guys, I just ended up going with a good old trusty Ardell Demi Wispy. I also, for the rehearsal dinner, had tried some other ones. I don't have the package here to show you, but these are also Ardell's. I'll show you, these are the ones I wore that night. So they're like a faux mink style, so they're just a little bit longer and like wispier than the demi wispies, and when I wore them to the rehearsal dinner I just felt like they were like a little bit too much lash. So yeah, we went demi wispy for the wedding day, which I was surprised about. I really it's really a basic lash, but that was kind of what I wanted. Like I just in the end didn't want them to be like the main attraction to the makeup. I just wanted them to be, you know, there but not like too much. So we had dinner, which was great, and then at the end of dinner we did 2 more speeches. So we did my maid of honor and Will's best man. Both of those speeches were also incredible. Kira's speech was really great, really funny. She was so well spoken. And then yeah, last 2, it was just like so meaningful and sentimental, and the speeches were really like a highlight of the night for me. All of them. I really loved that part. At the end of Lazar's speech, Will and I went up and we did just a brief little speech. And at the end of our speech, we introed the dancing. So it was probably around like 8 o'clock at this time, and it was time to party. Prior to that, I was really making an effort to get around the whole wedding and say at least hello to everybody. I was really trying to get time in with everyone and like be me, the one like searching people out and like making the effort. I really was trying to like say hi to everyone, and I just wanted to spend as much time with people as possible. But once the dancing started, you guys know, or do you know? If you watch my channel, you know, your girl loves to dance and she never wants to leave the dance floor, and she never wants the dance party to end. Will and I stayed on the dance floor from 8 p.m. until 1 a.m. when we had paid the DJ until. And yeah, it was amazing. Our DJ was incredible. DJ Lucy Tick with Dialed In DJs, again linked down below. Will and I were super specific about the music that we wanted. We are the people in our friend group who, when we show up at a party, people like hand us the aux, like put on the music. So we were joking, like we're very used to being the people who are in charge of the music, and so we're used to hearing whatever songs we want wherever we go. So we were really particular and specific about the type of music that we wanted played, the specific songs that we wanted played, and Lucy was so great, and she worked with us and was like very patient with us and totally understood what we wanted and like got the vibe. We didn't want a traditional wedding DJ. We didn't want any of the like traditional wedding songs. We did like a do not playlist, which had like the YMCA, Cotton Eye Joe, like the Macarena, Mambo Number 5, like just these like songs that get played at every wedding. We didn't want that. We wanted more of like a club DJ. We wanted her to like have a Toronto vibe. Lucy's been DJing at clubs in Toronto for like, I don't know how long, 20 years or something. I'm not trying to age her, but she's been in the scene for a really long time, and she's really well known here, and that was what we wanted. We wanted someone who like was from Toronto, who like knew the Toronto scene, knew the Toronto music scene, and was gonna like understand the music that we wanted played. We wanted it to be like a house party. We wanted it to be like a club and not like a wedding. So Lucy started and she went off. We were getting so many compliments on the music the whole night, even like through dinner and the cocktail hour and everything. People were saying like the music is already so good and the dancing hasn't even started yet. She literally crushed it. We were so happy. I was so in love with her at the end of the night. Okay, Will just came home, so I did my other lash off camera, and then I just put a light eyeliner in my waterline, and I tight lined across the top with a black pencil liner. For the black, I used the Urban Decay All-Nighter Glide On Gel Pencil, amazing. And for the light in my waterline, I used Charlotte Tilbury in the color Eye Cheat. Let's finish the eyes while we're here. I'm gonna take my little pencil brush, which is here somewhere, and I'm gonna take the lighter of the two grays in the Rock Chick palette and run that pretty much all the way across my lower lash line, and then the darker of the two and take that one just about halfway across. And then to finish off, besides the highlight in the inner corner, I'm gonna do a layer on the lower lashes of the Merit Tubing Mascara, and the eyes are done. A little bit sloppier, a little bit, I feel like even like darker than maybe they were on the day, but anyways, you get the general idea. once the dance floor started, I was pretty much gone to the rest of the world. Like, if you wanted to talk to me, you had to come out on the dance floor, which so many people did. It was so fun. It was the craziest feeling to just be like dancing and then be like dancing with someone and then turn around and like someone else I love is over here and like dance with them for a little bit and then turn around and like someone else that I love is over here and like dance with them for a little bit and then like, oh, there's the Will, like let me dance with Will for a bit. Like, it was just, I was all over the place. Also, people are like grabbing you because like, you know, people are being assertive and like they want to have time with you, which I loved and like appreciated because yeah, it was just like hard to be everywhere at once, so having people like come to me was amazing. So yeah, people were like coming up saying congratulations, like it's so good to see you, to have like a little dance. It was like just, yeah, everybody like pulling you this way and that way and like hi, talking, like it was like super high energy and it was so fun. Like I said, I did not leave the dance floor from like 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. I missed so much. So we did have a few little favors for our guests, one of which was some flip-flops. I would definitely highly recommend this to you guys. I learned it at another wedding, like we experienced it at another wedding, which was basically I bought wholesale like 50 pairs of white flip-flops that came in small, medium, large, put them on display in a little basket on a table and like had a little sign explaining like, these are dancing shoes, like please take a pair and wear them when your feet get sore, because ladies, we know like as our feet get sore throughout the day, we need to change into a more comfortable pair of shoes. I wanted everyone to be as comfortable as possible and to stay at the party for as long as possible. And I literally heard from people that they stayed at the wedding longer because they were able to change their shoes and be more comfortable and like stay longer at the wedding, which was literally my goal, literally my dream. We did a photo guest book, which wasn't 100% successful. We had bought 2 Instax cameras and a bunch of Instax film, and then we wanted to do it kind of scrapbook style, so we bought a blank sketchbook and some glue and pens, and people were like supposed to take an Instax picture and then glue it into the book and write a little message. But we ended up, I think part of the way through the night, running out of film. I think people were using the Instax to just take pictures and like not put them in the book, which was totally fine, but also I think nobody was changing the film. So like we had bought extra film, but I don't know if everyone at the party knew how to change it. So the film was there, but I think the cameras got to be empty and then people didn't know how to change the film. I just kind of assumed that people would know how to do that, and it turns out that they didn't. So we didn't get pictures of everybody. We got a ton and we got some really amazing ones. Like our parents are all in there and my Oma and Opa are in there. So like the big ones are there. I just wish that there was maybe like a few more and that I had maybe paid a bit more attention to that. But honestly, you guys, my mind was just like not there. All of this stuff was in the back of the room and I did not go back there for one single second. I didn't see the table that had the shoes on it. I didn't see the table that had the guest book on it. We also had a little sign put up. One of the reasons we booked the Drake was because they have this old school retro style photo booth. And so we had these like smile coupons so people could take coupons and then go and use them in the photo booth. And like that was part of their like takeaway gift as well, was like the photos from the photo booth. I didn't see the table that was like set up with that stuff. I didn't see the pile of smile coupons. Like I did not go into the back at all because I was just in the front dancing with everyone, talking to everyone, just like having the time of my life, having so much fun, like listening to the best music. It was just so fun. But yeah, that was what we did for like gifts for the guests. I didn't want to do like anything other than that. It was like the flip-flops and then the photos from the photo booth, and like that was like, I felt like, I don't know, like most often when people give gifts at weddings, like a lot of like people don't really care about them, or like consumables are always nice. At Laz and Sabrina's, they gave us like little mini jars of honey that were like local to the area from Italy that we were in, which was really great because we got to like take it home and eat it. But yeah, I felt like the photo booth like thing was like a good way to go for gifts. Yeah, it was also like really crazy because like one group of people, like my Charlotte Tilbury friends, would be like, want to do a shot? And like of course I want to do shots with everyone who's at the wedding, so I would like go and do a shot with them. And then my friends who came from out of town, like we had so many friends from out of town, which was incredible. We had friends from BC, we had friends from Manitoba, we had friends from Alberta, like we had people who flew in from the States, like people traveled from Ottawa, like really like a lot of people traveled for the wedding, which was so cool and like so nice of them. Let me continue doing my makeup. I'm going to do some bronzer now. So like I mentioned before, for bronzer, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Nude Gasm palette. So I literally just went back and forth in here. I wanted a pretty defined contour and then not too much like bronzing. My eyes are quite cool tone, so I felt like I could go a little bit more cool tone on my face as well. So I really just kind of focused on carving out my cheekbone here. That was so fun, like doing shots with everyone and dancing with everyone and talking to everyone, and oh, it was just such a good time. It was perfect. It was literally everything that I wanted for that part of the night. We had the DJ until 1 o'clock. We also had this exclusivity of the place until 1 o'clock. This was like a really weird thing that our venue did, which was like, we did a buyout, but the buyout only lasted until 1 a.m. Last call in Toronto, like bars close at 2 a.m. So they told us at like 1 a.m. they were gonna open the doors and let anybody who like wanted to come into the Drake to party that night into the Drake to party that night. So that was like super random. We were like, okay, we didn't really know what to do, but it ended up working out really nicely because we had the suite. So I told you guys before, they had like made the mistake with the room and they had given us that suite. So the suite was massive. There was probably maybe like 10 or 12 people left at the end of the night. Like at 1 o'clock, Lucy finished playing. Will and I were like gushing, like, oh my God, Lucy, thank you so much. You did so amazingly. So our friends were like, do you guys need to bring like stuff upstairs, like our flowers and all the signs and like everything that we had brought? Like I had changed my shoes part of the way through the night. I had bought myself a fresh pair of sneakers, which I loved. I got some like platform Reeboks. So I had changed those, and my other wedding heels were just like strewn on the middle of the floor. So my friends like went around and gathered everything, which was amazing because that was super helpful. They brought it all up to the suite, and then we hung out in the suite for a little bit. So at this point it was 1 a.m. I had been awake since like 7 a.m. the morning before. So I was exhausted. I'm just gonna go ahead here and fill in my brows. I used a pencil, the Anastasia Brow Freeze, and a tinted brow gel. So everyone went up to the hotel room. It was like kind of chill. We were just sitting around talking, like kind of hanging out. And then I started feeling like so exhausted and a little bit sick, to be honest. I had been drinking a lot. I had a lot of adrenaline like going through my body that was now starting to like come out. And yeah, I was really starting to feel the effects of not sleeping the night before, but I so desperately wanted to stay up with everyone. I never want the party to end. I'm the one who is like there till the end. I'm always in like the shut it down crew. Like I never want the party to be over. So I was trying so desperately to stay awake. I just like, I don't know, as soon as I started feeling sick though, I was like, I need to go lay down. So I went into the bedroom, closed the door. My friend Robin came in and like helped like kind of put me to sleep. I was like in my dress. Actually, I was really happy. I had brought my dress that I wore to my shower and like kept it up in the hotel room just in case I decided I wanted to change back into it, because my dress was like pretty big and I didn't know how heavy it was going to be or if I was going to want to change. I actually didn't end up wanting to change, but my bustle broke. So my dress was bustled at the back because it had quite a long train. And someone stood on my dress and I didn't realize, and I tried to like walk away and it ripped the bustle. So I couldn't have my dress bustled anymore. So my train was like, would have been dragging, and that doesn't work for like dancing and partying. So I was really happy I had my dress from my shower to change into. So I had changed into that, but I had crawled into bed in that dress, and Robin came in and like put me in my pajamas. She like brought me over the garbage can and like a cold towel and a water bottle, like fully prepped me, gave me some Advil. I laid there for like 20 minutes. I threw up and then I got up and I went back out to the party. I was feeling great. I was feeling so much better. I went back out. I think I stayed up for probably maybe like half an hour more. And then the tiredness just came for me. I could not stand on my feet. People were having a conversation like in front of me, and I was trying so hard to like be a part of it and like be a part of the conversation, and it wasn't happening. Like I couldn't do it. So I quietly like snuck into the bedroom, turned off the light, and passed out in like 1 second. I slept for 2 hours. I woke up, that was around 2:30 in the morning. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning and I could not go back to sleep. Might have had something to do with the fact that I had 3 espresso martinis in a row at one point in the night. Could have had something to do with the fact that I was just still so full of adrenaline. Probably a combination of both. But yeah, I woke up at 4:30 and I couldn't sleep. So I put on more James and Karis trying to sleep when I couldn't. I think around like 6:30 I got up and I went out on the balcony and I watched the sun come up. And then I just kind of laid on the couch and waited for Will to wake up. And that was it. That was the end. That was the wedding. It was really different than I thought it was gonna be. Like, obviously I didn't know what to expect because I've never been a bride before, but it was just so fun. The energy in the room was so wonderful. I was so happy to have everyone there, like all these people. I love all these people who have been with me and Will like throughout our lives together. My childhood best friend, who's like my longest, oldest friend, was there. Like, it was just really amazing, really special, like everything we wanted. We had to check out of the Drake that morning, so we packed everything up. They had late checkout, so I think we checked out. We were supposed to be out of there by like 12. I think we left around 12:15. For highlighter, I used, you guys know it, Champagne Pop, like it had to be. I actually have this like sinking suspicion that I forgot to put highlighter on because I have no memory of doing it. I was like I was saying, when I was getting ready, I was really like up and down, so I would like come and go and come and go, so I was kind of doing my makeup in like little pieces, and I don't remember putting on highlighter. So I'm like, did I even put it on? Which is crazy to me, like literally my favorite step of makeup, and I think I might have forgotten it. But anyways, I probably didn't. I'm sure I did it. Like, I do my makeup, I've done my makeup like 7,000 times. I don't know why I would just forget to do that on this day, but I just don't have a memory of it. I also, if I did put this on, did a little bit on the inner corner of my eye here. I do remember doing this step, so if I did this step, I must have put the highlighter on my face too. For blush, I decided to go with First Love from Charlotte Tilbury. It's kind of like a peachy, really nude blush. The eyes are so much that I just didn't feel like I needed a ton of other color on the rest of my face. Guys, I did not look in the mirror one single time at the wedding. I said I packed all of that makeup to touch up with, right? I did not even look at it for 1 second. I didn't even go into my purse one single time the entire night. It's so unlike me. Like, even I went to the bathroom one time, and when I was in there, I didn't even, you know, normally you would like look in the bathroom, like make sure your makeup's not smudgy, like just like reapply your lipstick. No, I went pee. I was so excited to like get back out to the dance floor. I went pee, I washed my hands as quick as I could, and I was like back to the dance floor, like literally running. Like, I can't be away from the dance floor, I have to get back to the party. Like, I just did not look in the mirror one single time. So before our photographers left, I think they left around 9:30. They came and got us probably around 9 and asked if it was okay if we took like some drunk like photos. So we did like another little like just Will and I photo shoot with them for about half an hour. And you would think that I would have been like, let me just go and touch up my makeup, reapply my lipstick. I literally put my lipstick on in the morning before we left and then did not touch it up the rest of the time. There was no lipstick left on my lips. I probably had so much black like smudged under my eyes. Remember I was saying like my foundation was kind of pilling when I started to apply it, and I kind of fixed it. Like, that could have started happening again. Like, I have no idea, guys. No, I did not look at myself or look at my makeup or anything like that. My hair, like I didn't care. It just was like so insignificant to me, and it's crazy to me because of all the like thought and effort that I put into it. Like, I really overthought my hair and makeup for this. Took it so seriously, like, what is the look that I'm gonna do that's gonna be like my eternal hair and makeup look? And then when it came down to it, I just like, yeah, I put it on and then I did not think about it again for the rest of the night. There's just so many other things to think about. It's just so unlike me. Like, when I go out for dinner or when I go out clubbing with my friends, like, I will go to the bathroom and like at least look at myself and see like how I look and like touch anything up. I had brought Q-tips to like, because, you know, I did the black tight line, so then a lot of the black would transfer down to the bottom. So I had brought like the black eyeliner so I could add black eyeliner to the bottom to like make it match if that happened. Like, I really was like prepared for the touch-ups that just never came. Looking back, like, I'm kind of nervous to see the pictures. Like, I hope the pictures are good and that I don't look crazy, and like there's a lot of black happening here, so I hope that it wasn't like smudgy and black. But I mean, I guess if it was, then it's just like a true depiction of like how I looked on the night. But yeah, I did not touch up my makeup or even look at myself after I left here in the morning. So for lip liner, I went in with Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. And then one of my favorite Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks, Penelope Pink, you can see how much I've used, is the lipstick that I decided to go with. I think my favorite CT lipsticks are Stoned Rose and Bitch Perfect. Also really love this one and just felt like it went with this look more than either of those would have. So then, of course, I will have set that with setting spray. Did I? I can't remember doing that. I must have though, right? I must have. This is the Urban Decay All-Nighter. I have used this for literally years and years and years. So this is it, you guys. This is the finished look. This is how I did my makeup on my wedding day. Little tutorial for you, little story time for you. Even just looking at this right now, like, I love it. I just feel like I look best in cool tones. Also, I went super blonde with my hair. So I really loved the idea of the contrast of like the super light hair with the super dark smoky eye. And this is not a traditional like bridal makeup look at all whatsoever. I never in my life have had a bride ask me for a cool tone smoky eye. But it was me and I was so happy with it. And the glitter, you can't see it much now, but in the low light, that Uptown Girl glitter just really like shimmers. So I know it was looking so good on the dance floor. And yeah, this is what I ended up doing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like I talked a lot and it's gonna be very long. If there was anything I left out, if you have any questions about the night, like, please leave them down below. I didn't leave anything out on purpose, so if I forgot something and you are curious, let me know down below. I am gonna leave links to everything, of course, in the description box, so all the makeup that I used today, all the vendors, everything that I talked about. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm hoping to be uploading on here more regularly soon. We're gonna be a bit all over the place still until next month, just because Will and I are going on our honeymoon for the last 2 weeks of November. So we've booked Barcelona, which is really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm definitely gonna be vlogging while we're there. I am gonna vlog on my honeymoon, yes. I love vlogging, but also I love having the memories of vlogging. So I feel like some people would be like, why are you gonna vlog on your honeymoon? But I want to. And Will, I think, might actually have to do some work while we're there. So I'll be able to, like, yeah, edit in the night during the nights and stuff when he's working. So yeah, I'm gonna vlog a few videos, but hopefully I will put some more videos up before then. And then after that, it's Vlogmas, which is crazy. If you guys are new here, I have done Vlogmas, I think, for the past 3 years in a row. So I upload every single day in December. We're gonna be trying to do that again this year. There's a lot going on in December, so I'm hoping we can make it happen. Usually I pre-film a few videos at the end of November for December. So I'm hoping to do that before we go away for the honeymoon, but we'll see how things go. At least in December, like, every day we're gonna have videos, and leading up to then I'm gonna have as many up for you guys as possible. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.